Good morning, summer camp families. We are excited to get started for summer 2021. We want to take this opportunity to welcome you to our camp family. We're really excited to have all of you join us this summer. This presentation is really just to orient you to summer Camp Boomerang. Unfortunately, we are still in a place where we cannot come together for an open house. So we are going to use this platform to kind of give you a good overview of summer camp and hopefully answer some questions that you might have. As always, reach out if you have any additional questions or we do not cover something in this presentation that you need to know. So we're going to start off by just an overview of what to expect. So we're going to talk about some camp features. We're going to talk about COVID-19 safety at camp. We're going to talk about arrival and departure expectations, and then additional news that will be beneficial to you. So as we roll into summer 2021, we know that COVID is still a real thing in our community, and we are still addressing that. But we do know that some restrictions have lifted. For our summer day camp program, many of those restrictions have stayed the same from summer 2020 to this upcoming summer. So you will see a lot of the same features of camp that we saw last year as we navigated camp for the first time after the pandemic. But some things have changed and some things have lifted. So hopefully this will give you some insight. So first, we will continue to have our smaller group sizes with huddle to huddle social distancing. So we will still have our individual cohorts throughout our camp programming. Those cohorts will be where your camper will be assigned, and they will stay with that huddle for the entire duration of the summer. In addition to staying within that huddle, those are also the only campers that your camper will interact with. So we are unable to bring different huddles together for different activities. They do stay physically distanced from each other. Each huddle will have a huddle home base with personalized equipment. So we are keeping our color-coded equipment in place. And each huddle will have color-coded equipment that will only be used by the students and children that are in that group. We still will have our themes and our skill clinics. So the programming elements of camp, the way that camp operates, feels, looks, is not going to change. We still have all of those wonderful things in place for your campers. We have a wonderful lineup of themes and special activities planned for the 11 weeks or 10 and a half weeks of camp. We will be adding field trips back in for summer 21. I know that makes a lot of people excited. We still will continue to do our virtual field trips and our virtual experiences using our virtual system. Field trips are going to be done on a rotational basis. So you will not necessarily get a field trip every week, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Camp swimming is a camp favorite, obviously, and we will talk later about the rotation for camp swimming, but with our current climate, we are still keeping those huddles socially distanced, which does require us to be a little bit more strategic in when the campers are in the pool. We also maintain social and physical distancing from members when our campers are in the pool. So we do close down sections of the pool during camp swimming. So we do have to be very strategic with that. And then we will also continue to have our youth development, character traits, our social emotional learning components. We will still have STEM, STEAM. We will still have summer learning loss activities, such as summer camp reading. All of those things that make us Camp Boomerang will still be happening this summer, and we're excited to keep those going. So these are our huddles for summer 2021. They are the same as our last summer. We did reinvent the wheel a little bit when COVID hit. So we do have 6 huddles instead of what we would have had years ago, which would have been 4. So we have the green wallabies, the blue wombats, the yellow kookaburras, the purple emus, the orange water dragons, and the red kangaroos. So your camper will be assigned to one of these huddles, and we will provide that information on the first day of camp. So that Monday at drop-off, just make sure you remind us to tell us which huddle your camper is going to be assigned to. This is an example of a huddle home base. So each huddle does have a home base where their items are stored, such as their bags, their lunch boxes. They also have the color-coded equipment. We also have sanitation items there that are out of children's reach for the leaders to use, and then just a fun little reminder of keeping our physical distance from each other. So this is kind of what field trips and swim will look like because it is quite different. So I'm going to use the green wallabies as an example. So green wallabies, when they have field trips on their rotation, they will have field trips on Tuesdays. So green wallabies and blue wombats will have field trips every Tuesday of the weeks that they actually have a field trip. So it is done again on a rotation, and that rotation is available in your Welcome to Camp email. It does give you the schedule of when those field trips will be happening. The details of those field trips will be distributed on our weekly newsletter. So if you are a green wallaby, your field trip days are Tuesdays on the weeks that you have field trip. Your swimming days will always be Thursday. If you're a blue wombat, you go on field trips on Tuesdays, your swimming day is Thursday. Yellow kookaburras and purple emus, it gets a little trickier. So swim days are Tuesdays. Swim days are always Wednesdays. Field trip days will flip-flop between Tuesdays and Thursdays, depending on the week. So if your child is in the yellow kookaburras or the purple emus, you want to make sure that you pay really close attention to that weekly newsletter to ensure that you know which day your camper will be going on a field trip that week. Orange water dragons and red kangaroos will always have field trips on Thursdays, and their swim day is Tuesday. So as mentioned, not all of our huddles will go on a field trip every week. So if it is a week that your child's huddle does not have a field trip, they do get a bonus swim day on Friday. So if you are a green wallaby and your group does not go on a field trip, you will swim on Thursday and Friday of that week. Hopefully that is pretty clear, but as always, I will make sure that you guys have a very detailed summer camp newsletter, and all of those days will be very clear for you to understand. These newsletters are typically emailed out on Friday before camp. So if you're going to week 2 of camp, you're going to get your email the end of week 1, so it gives you the weekend to review and make sure you have all the information that you need for the upcoming week. So as mentioned, field trips are back. We are limiting these to outside locations unless a private rental is available, which would allow us to physically distance from the general public. So most of our field trips are going to be to parks and to outdoor venues. However, we are going to be doing a few field trips that will allow us to go into facilities such as skating rinks or movies that would allow us to continue to maintain that physical distance from the public. We are very strategic in how we manage that and how we transition our campers in and out of those spaces, just to ensure that we do keep them as safe as we can. 2 huddles will go on a field trip at the same time. So wallabies and wombats will always go on field trips together. Kookaburras and emus will always go on field trips together, and orange water dragons and kangaroos will always go on field trips together. So that allows for those groups and rotations on field trips to be age appropriate. And then on those field trips, they will ride on separate buses. So when those 2 groups are going, we are allocating 1 bus to the wallabies and 1 bus to the wombats, so that they are not in close proximity to each other when they are riding the bus. Huddles will receive between 5 to 6 field trips over the summer on that rotation. And remember, just check that newsletter each week to make sure that you have the information that you need and you are prepared. This summer, these are our themes and our skills of the week. We're excited to bring these themes to play. What's really exciting about these is it's kind of a throwback of the past decade. So what we did is we took our camper and leader favorite themes, and we are bringing them back to camp for summer 2021. So all of the themes that you see are themes that we have done over the past decade here at Camp Boomerang, and we are bringing them back, and we're going to have a lot of fun with them. So you see that we have the theme of the week, we have the focus of the week, and then we have the skill of the week. So we have 3 very strategic items that keep our weeks different and fun and engaging, and change it up for our campers throughout the summer. This information will be listed in your Welcome to Camp email as well, so you can review that at a later date. So as mentioned, COVID-19 is still present. We still do have to respond to COVID-19 in camp, and we do still have to follow very strict guidelines. We follow guidelines from the CDC, the Department of Health and Human Services, YUSA, and also the Alliance for YMCAs of North Carolina. We will continue to have our social distancing or physical distancing between campers, and then also camper to leader. One thing that has changed for the upcoming summer is camper to camper social distancing is 3 feet, where camper to leader social distancing does still remain at 6 feet. So in moments where it is feasible, we will maintain that 3 or 6 foot distance. However, we do know that that's not 100% feasible in the environment that we're in. So we do know that that's not going to happen 100% of the time, which is why we have our cohorts and our small group sizes. We want to make sure that we're continuing to be really strategic in sanitation. So we do have some strict sanitation and cleaning guidelines in place that our leaders and our senior staff follow. Face coverings are still required for our staff and our campers. So we want to make sure that your camper is coming to camp with a 2-ply face covering. Last year, we were able to use 2Bs. Unfortunately, we are not able to use 2Bs for the upcoming summer. It is required that they wear a 2-ply face covering, and we want to make sure that it stays up. So make sure it is a well-fitted mask that they don't feel like they have to tug and pull on and be reminded of throughout the day. Just ensures that they're comfortable and they're able to participate in camp without that being a barrier. We don't want to make that a barrier. Face coverings will be required anytime the students or the campers are in the facility. They are allowed to remove those face coverings when we are engaging in outdoor activities and maintaining that social distance. So that will give them quite a bit of a break from wearing those masks. The staff will continue to wear masks inside as well, and when outside they can remove their mask as long as they can maintain that 6-foot distance. Our staff are informed and trained on how to properly manage the situations to ensure that if a child does approach them, they will be reapplying their mask. We will have frequent hand washing and sanitation as always. We always have done that in a child care setting just to maintain that safety. And then in the event that anybody is exposed or sick or ill for any reason, we do want to exclude those campers and that staff from attending camp. Each week, our parents will be asked and our guardians will be asked to answer a health screening. These health screening questions will be asked on Monday. The questions will be very easy and very quick, so we won't hold you up too long. But the questions will be, do you or any of the children you are dropping off have a fever, cough, shortness of breath, or difficulty breathing, chills, new loss of taste or smell, vomiting, or diarrhea? Have you or any of the children you're dropping off had any of these symptoms since the last time you were at camp, if it is a returning week? Have you been in contact with anyone who displays these symptoms, or is there any potential exposure to you or anyone in your household to COVID-19? We will ask these questions on Monday, and then we just ask our parents to please update us if any answers change throughout the week of camp. In the event that we do have a confirmation of a positive case in our program, we will make sure that we close that program area or that home base for that huddle down for 24 hours. We will unfortunately have to quarantine everyone that is in that cohort or that huddle, including the staff, for a 14-day period. Unless that staff member is vaccinated, there are some different protocols that they do follow. The facility and the areas will undergo deep cleaning, and we will make sure that we follow the guidance that the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services provides to us. But it is really essential that we try to maintain a safe environment for everyone, which is the reason why we will continue to follow through with the 14-day quarantines. In the event that this does occur, we will provide refunds for any services that you do not receive due to that quarantine. Okay, so when it is time to arrive and leave camp, it is really important that you understand our protocol, and it is updated slightly from the past year. When we do rides in, we will have dedicated staff available for this part of camp. So rides in from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. So I want you to understand that we do dedicate staff between these 2 hours every morning to make rides in as convenient as possible. So we do ask that all campers arrive by 9 o'clock. This makes it very easy. Our camp programming really jumps off at 9 o'clock. We want to make sure everybody's here to enjoy that day. Adults and campers will remain in their vehicle during rides in. Adults will be asked the health questionnaire on that Monday. Campers will undergo a temperature check. So we will continue to do temperature checks. If a camper has a temperature of 100.4 or higher, they would not be able to attend. And then campers will be signed into camp by staff. Parents and guardians will not need to do that. At the end of the day, we will dedicate staff again for a 2-hour period from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. for rides out. So we do ask that you wait until 4 p.m. for pickup, and that would allow not only for everything to run smoother and our staff to be in place for pickup, but it also allows your campers to remain at camp and partake in all of the activities. The majority of our camp programming happens between 9 and 4, so we want to make sure they don't miss out on any of that fun. So again, adults will remain in their vehicle. Adults will provide their pickup password. So make sure you share that pickup password with anyone who is authorized to pick up your camper from camp. Your camper will be supervised to the adult vehicle. And then we are trying again to limit that drop off and pickup period outside of 9 to 4. So we have the 2-hour window at the beginning of the day and a 2-hour window at the end of the day. In the event that you do have to arrive late or pick up early, we want to make sure that you follow the following procedures. First, we need you to park. We need you to find a parking spot in our parking lot, not up against the curb, not against the building. We want to make sure that we find an appropriate parking spot. Then you're going to come into the facility. Once you come into the facility, you'll check in with the front desk. The front desk will then get in touch with someone on our camp team. Please be aware that between the hours of 9 to 4, our camp team all have responsibilities and duties that they are handling. So it is going to be a little bit of a waiting period. So please be patient with us if you do have to drop off late or pick up early. It does require our staff to be pulled from responsibilities that they have between the hours of 9 to 4. And it is a little bit of a challenge at times because we are so limited on our staffing. So if you want to avoid this, please arrive to camp before 9 a.m. and wait until 4 o'clock p.m. or later to pick up. This is a diagram of where we handle all of our rides in and rides out procedures when the weather is good. So you'll come into the facility, you'll swing around to the right side of the facility where you see the yellow star. That is where we do our rides in and rides out drop off and pickup procedures. There is a tent there, and you will see that tent and you will see staff there. In the event that we do have to move indoors for pickup or drop off due to inclement weather, we will handle all of that at the front patio, which is the front, right by the front doors of the YMCA. All right, some additional information for camp that would be good news for you. First is camp payments. So remember that your camp payments are always due 1 week in advance. So it's always due the Monday prior to attending camp. If you do reference your Welcome to Camp email or your parent handbook, you will see that there is a payment schedule there for you. Please reference that so that you do not incur any late payment fees or lose the opportunity for your camper to attend camp. We will send home weekly newsletters, and those do come through email. So if you are not receiving those, please make sure that you get in touch with us. We want to make sure that you have all of the information to ensure a successful week of camp. Please make sure that your campers wear their masks. Our staff will have them as well. And as mentioned earlier, we want to make sure that those are well-fitted and comfortable masks. Make sure that your child also brings an appropriate book, so an age-appropriate book for our daily reading at summer camp. We want to encourage that we are preventing that summer learning loss and that summer slide by continuing to read. We do have a library here at the YMCA that your children can partake in, but we do know that they oftentimes have books that they're really interested in, and it's always better if we're absorbed into a great story. Please make sure your campers bring a lunch on a daily basis. These lunches cannot be refrigerated or heated. They will be stored at their Huddle home base until lunchtime. So you're welcome to send a lunch box and put some coolers in there, whatever works for your family. The YMCA will provide one snack a day. If your child wants more than that snack, you are welcome to send those additional snacks in their lunchbox or in their camp bag. Our snacks are usually in the afternoon between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. We want to make sure all of our campers come with a refillable water bottle that is labeled with their name. With COVID, we do not have access to using water fountains. However, we do have water bottle fill stations that they can use, and then each huddle also has their own designated water cooler, so they have access to water throughout the day. We just need those campers to make sure they bring those refillable water bottles. And then please refrain from bringing any personal items, including electronics. Summer is a time for us to get up and play and be physically active. After a long year of being in front of a tablet or a computer, we want to make sure that we're avoiding that and we're really enjoying each other's company and being active. So please make sure we keep all electronic phones, toys, and any personal items home. All right, so a couple things to make sure that you're doing prior to the first day of camp. Make sure you fill out your COVID-19 youth waiver. This is available in your Welcome to Camp email as a link. You can also go to ymcagreensboro.org and you can find the waiver there. Please make sure you review the parent handbook and your Welcome to Camp email thoroughly. There's tons and tons of valuable information in these documents that we work hard to put together to make sure that you have all of the information that you need. So please take the time to read through that and to be well informed prior to the first day of camp. And then like us on Facebook. So we know that you can't physically be here during camp, but we want you to be a part of what's happening at camp. And we always have amazing, fun things to share. So find us on Facebook, if you do have Facebook, at Ragsdale Y Camp Boomerang. Thank you for taking the time to be present during this presentation and to be oriented to Camp Boomerang. We hope that we have an awesome, amazing summer, and we look forward to serving each and every one of your families and your children throughout the summer. It's going to be a great summer. If you ever need to reach out, my information is listed here. Please feel free to contact me anytime you have any questions. We are in this together, and we are looking forward to an awesome summer. Thank you so much.